I called her from a women's retreat I went to that I'd gone to every year out of obligation. I didn't even really want to go, but I would go every year because I had this is my duty, this is my job. And I remember getting to the retreat and just, so many beautiful people. They love me. People love me. I'm lovable. And I like walk in and it's like, can you speak in my home group? Can you sponsor me? Can you talk to me? And it was just like, I just needed to be quiet for a fucking minute. And like, I called her and I cried, and I never cry. I'm still getting to that place. I called her. I was like, I'm so fucking overwhelmed. I just want to take a nap and like chill out for a second. And there's 150 people here asking me to do shit.
Hi, I'm Barb Nangle. I want to welcome you to my podcast, Fragmented to Whole, Life Lessons from 12-Step Recovery. If you're tired of feeling fragmented and overwhelmed, this podcast is your guide to creating a life of wholeness, authenticity, and healthy boundaries. I'm a woman in recovery who is also a boundaries coach and speaker. I share raw and honest insights from my own journey and the principles of 12-step recovery. Discover how to set boundaries without guilt or shame, overcome people-pleasing tendencies, manage your emotions effectively, cultivate a stronger sense of self, and build healthier relationships. My approach is raw, honest, and sometimes a lot sweary. I'm an avid beachcomber and a formerly closeted fan of the Hallmark Channel, especially Christmas movies. I wear fingerless gloves almost all year round because my hands are always cold. And I love taking pictures of license plates with my initials BN on them. I don't speak for or endorse any particular 12-step program of recovery. Though I'm a huge fan of 12-step recovery and a member of two such fellowships, I cannot speak for them. If you're ready for real talk and practical tools for transformation, keep listening. This is episode 320 with guest Kelly Walker, and the title is The Planets Aligned. I cannot tell you how excited I am to talk to Kelly. Number one, she was a private boundaries coaching client. And so I haven't seen her in quite some time. So I'm really excited. We just got to do some catching up. And I was like, we got to start recording because we're saying a lot of good shit that people need to hear. And then two, I can't even remember. It was like episodes like 260, 61, and 62. I did a series of 3 episodes where I asked people, if you're willing to be coached live, I'll record it. And Kelly wanted to do it, but she just couldn't, like, schedule wise. And so by the time she circled back to me, I was like, actually, I think I'd rather have you on as one of my guest episodes because Kelly has long-term recovery and a varied story that I cannot wait for you to hear. So she's going to share her experience, strength, and hope of recovery. And I just want to remind everybody, like, 12-step recovery is not necessarily for everybody, and it's not the only way to recover. Like, you might need additional help. And I know I get additional help and Kelly gets additional help, and hopefully you do too. But I'm going to let Kelly take it away, and then I'm sure we're going to have some conversation. I might be popping in from here and there. So there you go, Kelly. All yours.
Hi, Barb. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I am Kelly. I am a grateful member of ACA and a recovering alcoholic and a recovering drug addict and recovering from all the things. And I wanted it to be called When the Planets Align because I can look back and see how my loving higher power was just making moves on my behalf way before I knew I needed them. And I can look back and it's so clear. I mean, hindsight's always that way, 2020. Mm-hmm. And you were just such a huge part of that. I met you in a time in my life where I was really at a spiritual bottom. I was definitely at a jumping off point in my life, and I was ripe for change, which I think your podcast says that, like, ideal coaching clients are people who are ripe for change. And I knew I needed some help. I didn't know what kind of help. And I kept trying all these different modes and methods. And, I hired you as a boundaries coach, and man, you share well, first of all, my ex-partner now is how I found you. She found your podcast and sent it to my mother, who sent it to me. And I started listening, and I could not stop listening because I was so attracted to your recovery. You're very free about sharing about your recovery. And I had all the literature because my mom is an Al-Anon and gave me all the literature many years before, but I couldn't even my ego could not open that book or read this literature without cringing because it just was too vulnerable and it was too deep and I just couldn't go there. Mm-hmm. And when I moved into this new house that I live in now, I was in a bottom in my life. Like I had been enmeshed in a completely codependent enmeshed relationship for 8 years, 7 years at that time, 7.5 years at that time. I was living in my business that was fine,
Wait, and, like, just so people know, you literally lived in the physical building of your
literally
business is what she
in
means.
my
Not
business.
just, like, busy in her business.
No,
Yeah.
not just busy. And I, I always had a studio in my home. I'm a painter. I have a decorative painting company. And when I first moved into this building, I had 3 artists working for me, sometimes 4.
Mhm.
And by the time I moved out, I had 16. And people are coming in to get supplies at 6 a.m. in the morning. I have no peace. And I didn't know how to take care of myself at all. Like those conditions were I would just accept them because I just felt like a martyr
Mhm.
that I couldn't afford to move anywhere or I should stay. And what was I thinking to think bigger? I make enough money. I'm very comfortable here. My money's good. I'm safe. I don't really deserve to move out. Also, the ideas I had about production that I wasn't going to be able to produce art if I moved out of my studio. And meanwhile, the tension is just building. It's like I'm in the frog in the water, just
Yeah.
it's slowly starting to boil. I'm cooking. I don't even notice I'm cooking. Thank God for my mom's wisdom and her self-care practices and her recovery because she came into my life and she's like, it's time for you to move. Like, let's look at a place. Let's see what you're qualified for. Let's see what we can do. And she helped me. I'm so grateful for her. So again, the planets kind of aligning. When I moved into my new house, which was terrifying, my business tanked. I think the time that I hired
That's
you,
right, I forgot. It
it
did.
was a total financial strain.
Yeah.
Like I did not have the money to pay for it. And I remember making the decision to put it on a credit card and I paid it off like I always do. I have a loving higher power that's always taking care of me. But, I have a tendency to decide that it's never going to work out because that's how I think. But I remember hitting send on that credit card payment, knowing that it was really important that I did this. Like I was onto something and I felt that many times in my recovery, like, okay, you're onto something. Don't let go of this.
Mhm.
And that's how I felt when I had a kind of profound spiritual awakening in AA.
Mhm.
I was 17 years sober, kind of working my own program before I really got somebody to sponsor me and really worked through the 12 steps.
No shit, really?
Yeah, dude, it
Yeah.
was rough. Like my sobriety has been not good. I mean,
So
I
you
had a
white knuckled it for 17 fucking
it
years?
was not great. No. I went to meetings. Had meeting-based recovery for sure. All I did to treat my alcoholism was go to meetings. And I didn't know that you can't treat alcoholism with sobriety. You have to treat it with spiritual living. Like you have to work the steps. You have to start untangling. And so 17 years I had this huge awakening. I mean, a gnarly bottom, and then
Mhm.
a huge, beautiful awakening where I found somebody I could trust. I met this man and I felt really safe with him and he worked me through the steps and I blew up. My whole life changed. And I have a big personality and I'm very charismatic. And I also was an untreated alcoholic with a really bad reputation in AA for a lot of my time, and then all of a sudden I have this awakening, and people can see it, and they can sense it, and they can taste it, and they want it, and they want more of it. So next thing I know, I'm a circuit speaker. I'm speaking at meetings 4 times a week. I'm sponsoring 12 people.
Shit.
I'm like burning the candle at both ends. I don't even know that I'm doing because when you're giving of yourself in that way, like you would get recharged. Like God would give me the energy I was feeling, but then there was this other part of my life that was like, holy shit! Like I could still self abandon by doing all that work for everyone else, and it felt good to my ego, and I felt like I had something I could offer, and I felt valuable for the first time, and
Mhm.
I needed my ego really needed that. And it was probably let's see, I'm at 30 years sober now.
Wow.
So 17
Congratulations. That's fucking
isn't that
unbelievable.
nuts?
That's
It's been
so good.
and it in the past, like, 5 years of my sobriety have just been the wildest, most incredible. And the past 2.5 years or 2 years have been just greater and greater heights, which you had a huge part in because of what I was so attracted to you about the boundaries or it's self-care. Boundaries are self-care.
Yeah, I woke up a couple days ago and out of waking, I'm like, boundaries are about developing the emotional and psychological capacity to be with yourself so that you can withstand the feelings that come up when you set boundaries and the pushback that people give you. You're like, wait, no, I'm me. I'm going to live my life. Yeah, it's insane. Like people don't really have an understanding of how deep boundary work is and how profound the changes are.
There were times when you and I would work through first of all, so I came to you, I think I had 25 years sober, 24, 20. I mean, how long is it? It's been 2
I
years?
don't know, but it hasn't been 5 years.
It hasn't been
So
5 years. I mean, so much has
no.
happened in my life in the past 2.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, my business was tanking. I had to, was laying people off. I really didn't think I could afford this house. Just was panicking. Like,
Mhm.
and I managed to stay sober, but my recovery needed to shift. And I was attracted to your recovery, even though I really had a hard time with it, because when I moved, I found the literature again and I pulled it out and I read it and I was like, holy crap. Like it was just hitting true. And then the boundaries work and the coaching and meeting with you, I think it was once every couple
We
weeks,
met weekly for 12 weeks. Yeah.
which was miraculous for me. Like it was really hard for me to do that. I'm bad with tech. I got all these, fears and things that hold me back, but we managed and we got through it. And there were times that I would be like, literally, I remember one of our meetings where I was literally looking back, I could see that I was having an inner child meltdown. I was
Mhm.
panicked. I was afraid. I
Mhm.
was shaking in my boots. My adult was nowhere to be found. My 4-year-old was driving my car and about to crash it. And there were
Mhm.
times that you were just like, I could just feel you being like, we have to stay focused on this presentation. Like, I don't know if you could sense what was happening to me, but like, I look back and see, holy shit, that was literally my inner child. That was my 12-year-old just
Mhm.
panicked. Please, somebody take care of me. Please take care of me. Oh my God, there's nobody here. I'm scared. I'm alone. Like at the end of our coaching, you said, hey, you might want to check this out. And you suggested this loving parent guidebook study for women on Sundays at 11, which in my mind immediately, I can't do Sundays at 11. But guess what? I've been able to do Sundays at 11 every Sunday. We're only on page 127 and my whole life has fucking changed. It's been
Yeah.
really wild. And then from that group, I found out about a step study group. I just started that this year. And what's happened is I've started to have a relationship with myself for the first time. A tender, loving, compassionate, pretty funny. I left the relationship that I was in for 8 years I mean, God bless her. She's such a great woman. She was not my type at all. We had no business being together. Look, and in hindsight, it makes perfect sense why I was more and more disconnected and miserable inside. I was trying to force something to work. If
Mhm.
I made a decision, I would that's it. I made the decision. Not ever give myself the grace to be able to change my mind or make a
Yeah.
different decision. Like I just didn't have the capacity. I was like, nope, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life now. This is what I
Yeah.
decided. And staying stuck in martyrdom, working the 12 steps, I mean, real profound things happen in the inventory process. I've always believed in a higher power, but I never really believed it because I didn't. Now associating my inner child and my love and my higher power together makes so much more sense. It's like all the pieces are connecting. That's why I
Mhm.
feel like the planets have aligned
Yeah.
in this
Yeah.
process. I realized I didn't know I self abandoned. I mean, I was angry and unhappy most of
Mhm.
the time. It's because my inner child was like, holy
Mhm.
shit, you need a nap. You need a snack.
Yeah.
You need to you need
Hungry,
to
angry, lonely,
rest.
tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would hear that in AA and
Yeah, yeah.
and I would be like, okay, like, and especially in the beginning of sobriety. Well, what's happened, and thank God for my sponsor in AA because she was, first of all, she's the first sponsor that I've ever had that I've been able to tell exactly the truth. And when I first started doing this work, and I was very much bottoming out in AA. I mean, I
Mm,
was just doing way too much for way
mm,
too long.
yeah.
And I was like,
12
every
months
time,
is insane. That's ridiculous. Unless you are, like, retired and your fucking job
oh
is
yeah.
being cancer, that's just ridiculous. Yeah, I don't care what program you're in.
And I've had 3 sponsors since I had my spiritual awakening.
Mhm.
Dave was the first. I mean, he was hardcore, get her through the steps, life change, wonderful part of my story. God bless that man. I love him
Yeah.
so much. Then I had Renee, and Renee was the first person that I literally, she sat in my car one day and I just showed her my appointment book. And I was like, help. I don't know. I don't, it was like color coordinated. I'm working out every day. I'm like overtraining, overdoing in every area of my life. And she's the one that first started to teach me about boundaries. She's like, okay, you can only speak at one meeting a week. And I'm like, okay. So that started to help me be like, no, I
Mhm,
can't speak this week because I'm already speaking. How about, this other week?
mhm,
That started to like slow down the fucking crazy. And then you can only sponsor 3 people.
mm,
Like she's like, how do we get you to a place where you're not so exhausted that you sleep for an entire weekend and eat 4,000 calories of candy because you're so
mhm,
just in such need for
mhm.
nourishment,
Something. Yeah.
something, something to soothe.
Mhm,
And she would say that I just couldn't quite go there yet. And then I met Stephanie who spoke at a retreat, and I just was friends with her and loved her. But I was able to be completely, thoroughly honest with her, where I was able to say things like, I don't know if I want to do AA anymore. I feel I'm fucking over it. I don't want to do this anymore. I am tired. And she was
mhm,
like, I called her from a women's retreat I went to that I'd gone to every year out of obligation. I didn't even really want to go, but I would go every year because I had this is my duty, this is my job. And I remember getting to the retreat and just, so many beautiful people. They love me. People love me. I'm lovable. And I like walk in and it's like, can you speak in my home group? Can you sponsor me? Can you talk to me? And it was just like, I just needed to be quiet for a fucking minute. And like, I
mhm,
called her and I cried, and I never cry. I'm still
mhm,
getting to that place. I called her. I was like, I'm so fucking overwhelmed. I just want to take a nap and like chill out for a second. And there's 150 people here asking me to do shit. It felt like, I mean, probably
right.
5 people asked me to do
Yeah.
something, but it just tipped the scales. And
Yeah.
she's like, I want you to tell everybody who asked you to do anything for the next year that your sponsor says you're not talking. You're not speaking for the next year. And she's like, and you're not sponsoring anybody new. And I was like, and I just started crying because I needed permission to like
Yeah.
get off the fucking podium for a minute and
Mhm,
just like center. And then it all happened at the same time of moving in this house. When I moved in here, my partner expected to move in with me. And I was like, no, I need you to stay in the studio. I want to live here for a minute. And my mom was like, I think you need to live by yourself for a little while to see if you want this person to come with you. Thank
mhm,
God she said that because I wouldn't have had the ability to care for myself in that
mhm.
way.
Yeah.
But my insides, like she brought a box of stuff over at one point, and everything in me was like, no, 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 no. And it was the beginning of having some physical distance. And
Mhm.
then I was able to actually like get out of that relationship, which was fucking painful and,
And
painful.
she worked for you too,
It
so it's
worked
not
for me. I
just
mean,
your girlfriend, yeah.
yes. And she worked for me and I was like, "Oh, she's gonna save me. She's gonna take care of me." And the reality is like I was already being cared for. I already had a higher power that was taking care of me. And I also had an adult that was really, really wise. But my
Mm,
kids would run the show. My teenager would run the show. And I'm like, please fix it, take care of me, please help me. I need your help. I need your help. And then at some point I realized like this woman is not qualified for any of the positions I have put her in my life. And I have
mhm,
just assigned this role to her. And it was based on my own need and my own, fears. And
mhm,
it just got worse and worse. And I started doing this work, started coming to meetings. I started listening to as many podcasts as I could. I still do. I mean, this is very similar to what happened to me in AA. Like when I really took fire with the 12 steps and in that in the process, like, I just couldn't get enough. I just want to hear it. I want to stay. I know how sneaky my mind can be. And I want to stay current in the solution because I have a tendency to just go straight to the
mhm,
negative, straight to the darkest place, straight to the old traumas.
mhm,
And ACA is just kind of it's changed my life
mhm,
drastically. I
mm.
sponsor one person now,
Okay.
and somebody asked me to sponsor them recently who was a
This
brand
is an
new.
AA we're talking here?
This is an AA,
Okay.
and this guy has 16 years sober. He's got solid foundation. It's been lovely to meet with him every other week for an hour.
Mhm,
And the boundary on the hour, you know,
mhm, mhm,
and I've slowly been able to add things back into my life after this quiet
mhm,
time but slowly I still have to be very careful. I used to be very angry all the time and a lot of it was like I couldn't stand the list that I made for myself every day. It was And my ego loved it. I was like, oh, I could get 75 things done in a day. Watch this. I'll get 85 done because,
Mhm.
I still have alcoholism and I want to work 10 times harder than everyone else just to feel average. But that's
Mhm.
also ACA.
Mhm.
That's an
Mhm.
ACA tendency. That's a perfectionist tendency. So
Yeah.
I feel like ACA has kind of taught me what 6 and 7 is.
Yeah.
I've just started this journey, but a lot has been revealed and I'm like real here for it. Like, but I've slowly started, I'm not getting asked to speak all the time anymore. This is, I've spoken at maybe 3 AA meetings since I had my quiet time and I'm grateful for the space. I like can hear myself.
Mhm.
So much of the anger that I had was like my inner child screaming for rest, just quiet. Like,
Mhm.
I just went on a vacation. I just came back from a vacation. And I had it in my mind as a self-employed person that I have to suffer 2 weeks before I leave. And then I leave and I have 1 week of peace and then I come back and I have to suffer some more. And that
Mhm.
is kind of true because there's a lot of work to do before you leave and then there's a lot of work
Yeah.
to come back
I
to when you come
I
back.
yeah, yeah.
But this trip that I just took was like I was able to really turn it off, really disconnect from work, only jump in if they really needed me, paid attention to some emails, but really it didn't. I was able to be present.
Mm.
And there's a softness about me that I've never had. There's a tenderness about me that I've never
So
kn
beautiful.
known was there. You
Yeah.
know, I'm excited to see where it goes, but I know that I have to be very careful with my energy. I have to be very
Mhm.
careful with my time and my energy. It's my currency. I've always known that, and I gave it all away, and now I'm like, "Nope, I'm saving some for myself." That's been pretty cool. Yeah, I really can't get enough of what I'm starting to experience.
Mm. Yeah. So when we hopped on the call, you were like, my life is fucking awesome in so many different ways and stuff. And you named a few things that had changed and what you had done differently, some of which you haven't gotten into yet. So do you want to share some of the other things that you've done besides ACA and AA?
Well, in June or July of 2024, my mom and I went my sobriety date's my mom's birthday, and so
Cool.
the past 5 years, we have tried to do a mother-daughter trip around that date, and
Hmm.
she found this guy's podcast, Tommy Rosen from Recovery 2.0, and he's like, uses yoga and the 12 steps as a method of healing. And so my mom's passing me his podcast. I pass her podcast too. It's a very sweet thing we do. Like she's always listening to good stuff. I'm a
Hmm.
total nerd. She's a total nerd.
Hmm.
I'm like, gotta hear this talk. Here's this thing. Here's these people I found about somatic healing, whatever it is we're listening to. And she found Tommy. I started listening to his podcast. Everything in me, I come from AA, which is very stuck and stable, stuck, maybe a little rigid, you know.
Hmm.
And this guy's like real open and he's talking about yoga as a path of healing and he's talking about the power of the 12 steps. He's sober 35 years, I think, and he's got a beautiful recovery and he's really good at like stitching both of these things together. Anyway, I listen to his podcast. I'm kind of closed. My first instinct is to close and be like, oh, this is scary. Oh, this is terrifying. But then I continued to listen and I was like, yeah, this guy's making a lot of sense. And I really liked him. And then I listened to his book. And my mom's like, he's having a yoga retreat in England. You want to go for our mother daughter trip? And I'm like, yes, I do. My mom and I'm not really, I mean, I've been into yoga before in the past. I mean, I have a whole back piece. I've got namaste tattooed on my back. Like I got into yoga in like the mid 2000s, early 2000s
Hmm.
and gone in and out of practicing. Anyway, we go to this retreat. Neither of us really do yoga. I don't even know what kind of yoga it is. I'm not even paying attention to that, but it turns out to be Kundalini yoga. And we do it's the weird yoga.
Yeah.
It's the weird people yoga.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird,
Yeah.
but it has fucking changed my life. And I got lit on fire at that retreat. I was like, oh my God. Like, I don't think I've ever taken a deep breath. Oh my God. No wonder I want to smoke all the time. Well, no wonder I've struggled with cigarettes my whole life. Like, I don't know how to breathe. I don't know how to, move my body and be gentle. It's such a gentle practice. I mean, some of the postures are difficult to, hold your arms up a certain way, but it's all about moving energy around.
Hmm.
They call it the yoga of awareness. And I swear to God, I went to that retreat for a week. We spent another couple days in London. My mom and I got along really well. I learned how to do I learned mantra, different levels of meditation, and this gentle movement. And I've been doing it almost every day since then. And it has changed my life. And I was able to leave that relationship. Like that relationship needed to end. And
Mhm.
I was so afraid of that because of what it meant for her,
Mhm.
because I had chosen someone I could love and pity,
Yeah.
you know, I could
And
pity.
rescue. Yeah.
And so start doing Kundalini, not letting that go. It's just it works for me. It's making total sense for me. And then I started dating. And let me tell you something. I have had a lot of fun dating, and I've learned a lot about boundaries
Yeah.
dating.
Good.
And I've learned what to know and what to yes, and how valuable my time is, and I've been able to enter and exit multiple relationships. I mean, I didn't know how to date. I'd never dated. I just was like, okay, we're going to be together now. Let's do
Forever.
that.
Yeah, yeah, I hear it. Same with me. I didn't, like, date around. It was just like I meet someone and then we're dating and we're in a relationship and also we're gonna live together really soon. Yeah.
Yeah, forever.
Yeah.
And, the first person that I hooked up with, I was like, oh my God, this is wonderful. And then then she was like, also not really that healthy and also not really all that kind. And also that threw some red flags on the field that
Mhm.
I was able to be like, I need to leave this relationship. And with the help of my therapist and my sponsor and my mom, and, I was able to like end that relationship and walk away from it. And I've had to do that with several women since. And I've
Mhm.
only dated women that I'm really, really attracted to. And I've only been intimate with people that I really, really feel like being intimate with. I
Mhm.
haven't been, I would just sleep with, if you like me, I would sleep with you. That's how
Yeah.
I was when I was drinking.
Yeah.
And it didn't change too much when I got sober a little bit, but like still my picker was not that great.
Yeah.
But, I had a woman come over that was we were supposed to hook up like sexually,
Mhm.
and I wasn't feeling it. And I had to say to her while she was in my house, like, listen, she's like, you're not feeling it. I'm like, I'm not. I'm like, I'm not feeling it, but let's go take a walk.
Yeah.
We can take a walk. If you want to do Kundalini with me, let me teach you some yoga.
Yeah.
Like, let me try to be helpful in this
Yeah, yeah.
situation. But yeah, we're not going to be intimate. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And like, I never had that ability.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have never had that ability.
Yeah.
I've been exploring being poly. I've been exploring being in a couple different romantic relationships, and that has made a lot of sense for me.
Yeah.
And, everybody I'm dating are out of state, which there's some space, which is helpful for me with trying to kind of approach boundaries
Mhm.
in a
Mhm.
healthier way. The distance is helpful.
Mhm.
Um, but, I'm kind of coming to some new awarenesses about that too. There's somebody that I've been seeing for, 6 or 7 months who I just really like. And I don't really know that I have the capacity for more. And I just got off my therapy appointment right before I signed on to talk to you. I'm being like, I think I'm going to cancel that trip that I'm supposed to go on in a couple weeks because I feel a little unmanageable and I don't know that I have the capacity to do it. And it's
Mhm.
probably okay to let it go.
Mhm.
But I'm so scared of intimacy with one person. And I have this old idea that like when I'm in a relationship, that I'm doing something wrong
Yeah.
or it's not safe.
Yeah.
And so having multiple partners, I was like, well, as long as I have this going on here and I feel feelings for
Mhm.
this person, then it doesn't have to be all about one person.
Yeah.
So it's safer.
Well, I think, like, I'm not polyamorous myself, but I know probably more than the average person, but, without being involved in it. And I can't remember the name of the book that I read. Oh, The Ethical Slut is what it's
Oh,
called.
cool.
So fucking good. And the thing that appealed to me the most, I didn't know it was about polyamory when I read it because I was in church and my minister did a sermon on like spirituality and sexuality and he mentioned the book and I'm like, okay. And I'm reading it. I'm like, holy shit, it's about fucking polyamory. And what appealed to me the most about it is the level of intimacy. Because if you are going to truly be in polyamorous relationships, like most of the people in them have a primary relationship, but the boundaries have got to be so clear and there has to be an enormous amount of trust that like one person could be like, okay, there's no kissing, or you can never bring them to the house, or I need to meet them, or I don't want to meet them. And you have to feel comfortable telling the absolute truth in order to make polyamorous relationships work. And so the level of intimacy is beyond anything I had ever experienced before. And I was like, I don't want the polyamory. I want that intimacy is what I want.
Right.
you know?
Yeah, and I'm kind of exploring that. Like,
Mhm.
I'm like, yeah, my therapist was really helpful
Yeah.
just now. I'm like, I'm supposed to go see this woman in a couple weeks that I've had some really wonderful memories with and
Mhm.
connection with.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm pretty deeply in love with this other woman, and
Mhm.
we have a really wonderful. I like the person I am when I'm with her.
Yeah. Oh, that's
She
beautiful.
feels
What a great way to
she
say
feels
that.
like vacation, you know, like when we get to see each other, it's just very delightful. And yeah, I had a feeling that we took a vacation together, and I had this feeling, that like after this trip, I would know more about what I'm supposed to do, and I'm just
Mhm.
leaning towards letting it go, letting
Yeah.
the other things go. Maybe having a date. I have one date lined up that I'm really excited about meeting this woman, but we'll see. She lives in Massachusetts, so
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
but I don't really have the time or the money or the bandwidth for all of it. Maybe I don't have the capacity. It takes a
Yeah.
lot of energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll see. I'm praying
Well,
about
this has been amazing. I feel like we're coming to a natural ending to the conversation. Is there anything that you wish that you'd shared that you haven't shared already? Any specific thing you want to end on?
I'm humbled. Really humbled and in awe of what I mean, I haven't seen you in so long. So
Mhm.
it's been at least a year.
Definitely. Yeah. I don't remember. I'd have to look it up, but it's definitely been at least a year. Yeah.
Yep.
And you look, I guess, healthy is the word.
Younger.
You look younger, yes, and you
I feel
look,
younger.
like you're not stressed, and you look relaxed, that's the word I wanna say. You look relaxed, and you do look younger, actually.
Isn't it weird?
Yeah, yeah, and you mentioned to me earlier that you lost weight. I was like, "Oh, that's it too, that you look thinner too." I don't think that I would have come up with that, but you just look
Yeah.
fucking healthier, and you sound healthier.
My whole life, like I'm happier and healthier.
Mhm.
I love the part of an ACA when it talks about like reparenting ourselves with joy, humor,
Yeah,
and
judging the people I
respect.
love and respect. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, I was like, I'm not joyful,
Yeah,
but it's making sense. Like, it's just been the missing piece for me.
yeah,
Like, it's
yeah.
just been so wild. It's hard for me to go to meetings lately.
Mhm, mhm.
I went to a meeting when I was in Chicago, and we spent like a week in Chicago, which is like a fantastic city. I've
Yeah.
always wanted to explore that city.
I still haven't been to Chicago. Yeah, I've heard.
Erica went to Chicago before, and she's like, "I love that city." And I'm like, "It's on my list." And she's
Yeah,
like, "Let's go." And I was like, "Okay."
yeah,
And like we planned a trip, and I had points, and I had all these points, and she had a discount, and we teamed up. I felt like a team with her. It was really fun. It was really, really fun. Anyway, it's been hard lately to like be with alcoholics
mm,
and go to meetings because
mhm,
all I can see is adult children.
yeah,
And that has been, I mean, I don't share it very often. I try to be really
mhm,
careful with the traditions, but
yeah,
the people that I know that have some time that won't be confusing to them, there's been a couple people that I'm like,
yeah,
You should check this out."
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm just really excited to see where my journey goes because I
mhm,
feel like I know more about step 6 and 7
yeah,
and just having a capacity for kindness to myself instead of like, this is a defect character, instead of like,
mhm,
this is a literal trauma response.
right,
Like,
yeah,
literally, and your little kid did so good and tried so hard to take care of you. And
yeah,
look how good they did.
yeah,
Like, she did the best she could, and it might be sideways a little bit. And these tools don't really work anymore.
right, because 'cause they're kid tools, yeah,
Yeah, but
yeah,
the motive was good.
yeah,
It's okay.
yeah. I've heard from because I've been in ACA for 10 years now, and I've met many people that come to ACA with long-term sobriety and all that stuff from other programs. And they usually say, "Holy shit, this is it. This is the core issue. This is why I drank, why I drugged, why I sexted, why I ate, why I blah, 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 blah." It's the trauma. And the thing about trauma is it can be healed. We may still have codependent tendencies and all that kind of stuff, but trauma can actually be healed. I also want to make an observation. I love the way that you talk about your relationship with your mom. And I just have to say, in my experience in ACA, I've never met anybody that has the healthy relationship with a parent in
Mm.
ACA that you do with your mom. And so it's such a blessing to hear that. And I think it's so beautiful.
My mom, our stories, I mean, if it wasn't for Al-Anon, like, I got sober, which saved my life.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that I'd be sober if it wasn't for her praying for me. But she's done her work. She's continuing to do her work.
Mhm.
And I can see her like this mother-daughter trip, like her trying to she made amends to me. And she came close. She's been coming closer and closer to me and being like, I can just feel her being so committed to like helping me heal because she knows
Yeah.
that a lot of my shit came from her.
Uh,
And we've had these like amazing conversations where she's told me and then I can just see her. I can see her inner child. I can see little Linda just, oh my God, some of the stories that she told me on vacation. Cause I'm funny. And now that
yeah.
I can be completely myself with her now.
Yeah, that's so
And,
good.
and she told me stories, about my dad and, how she ended up marrying him. And oh my God, I learned so much about her and
Yeah.
her wounds.
Yeah.
And she's just been so committed. Like I could just
Yeah.
feel her being like, this kid needs some help. And I did some of this damage and I want to help.
Yeah.
And it's just wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
You'll definitely want to hear this. She listens to your podcast too.
oh, cool. That's
She
wonderful.
actually
Hi,
heard your
Linda.
she'll love this. My ex-partner found your podcast, sent it to my mom. My mom listened to it and then was like, you should check this out. Like she gave it the thumbs up and that's how we're
That's
here
cool.
today.
Thanks, Linda. So, question, did your mom start going to Al-Anon after you got sober or before?
Before
Okay.
she did Coda, she did
Okay.
Al-Anon,
Okay.
she probably did a little ACA,
Uh-huh.
but it really wasn't me that brought her to an Al-Anonic bottom. It
Okay.
was she ended up having an employee. I was probably 14, 15, 16 years sober at this time, but she got so enmeshed with this employee and was so codependent with his employee, she ended up going to Al-Anon over her drinking,
No shit.
and then her whole life changed. My mom's.
Yeah.
And that woman actually died. She
Oh
drank
my
herself to
goodness.
death, which was
Oh,
really intense. And I tried to like help her and be a sober influence on her. My mom was like, would do anything to get this woman sober,
yeah, yeah.
which is what she did for me,
Mhm.
which is why I left home at 15. Cause I was like, I don't want your help. I
Mhm.
found drugs and alcohol. I'm good. I'm out. you know,
So,
um,
are you okay, like, if people wanna connect with you, like, sharing, like, your Instagram and you wanna tell them about your business and stuff like that and where you are? Or do you wanna keep your you tell me.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. Yeah, I have a decorative painting company that's called Art Star Baltimore. That's my Instagram for that business. And I employ like 16 incredibly talented artists. And I swear to God, the secret to my success is having enough humility to employ people that are better than me because
Alright.
they are the shit. But I got some hustle and I got some piece of the puzzle
Mhm.
that keeps it moving. And my personal practice is Kelly L. Walker. Kelly
Okay.
underscore L underscore Walker
Okay.
is my personal Instagram where I post the things that my personal life and
Mhm.
the things that I paint, which, I'm looking forward to seeing. I also stopped painting for about
Oh, no kidding.
9 months when I moved out of the studio and my partner was still living there and then trying to get settled here and trying to kind of come back and also making art was a way that I hurt myself.
Ooh, oh, shit.
I was so
How
codependent with this employee that I had to let go of. I
uh-huh.
was like killing myself to produce work so that she had some work to do. So she could photograph because she wasn't very good on site. She had some body issues. Like there was just, she was very slow. Like she was very talented though. This
Yeah.
woman was amazing. But this is the kind of codependent bottoms I was hitting all over the place.
Mhm.
I would push myself to create work so
Mhm.
that she had something to photograph Monday. So she had work all week to edit. And like when I got done with that 2 years of living at that pace, I mean, I was
Mhm.
making work I wasn't even happy with and just like
Mhm.
trying to keep the content going to feel,
Mhm.
I was like, no, you're hurting yourself here too. Like, let's
Yeah.
just stop.
Yeah.
And so I've made about 10 pieces in the past year,
Okay.
in 2025. Which is, I used to make 10 pieces every 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I was making a lot of work and selling a lot of work.
Mhm.
And now I have a photographer that comes in once every 6 months and shoots the work that I've made. And there's no time limit or pressure on it. I've taken all that out of it. And I've been able to just fully like
Right.
paint the work, hang the work up, live with the work, look at the work, kind of cherish the work
Yeah.
instead of like forcing myself to produce.
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean, so I'm telling you, everything has
That's
changed.
so good. I'm so
It's
glad.
so good.
Well, that seems like a really good note to end on. Thank you so much. Thank you all for listening. And I will make sure that Kelly's contact stuff is in the show notes if you want to get it. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hey there. If you've been listening to this podcast and thinking, wow, I really need boundaries, then I want to personally invite you into my coaching program, Unshakable You. The Fragmented to Whole method is designed for people like you, smart, capable women who are tired of overgiving, saying yes when they mean no, and constantly putting yourself last. Inside Unshakable You, I walk you step by step through the exact process I used to stop people pleasing, reclaim my time and energy, and finally build healthy relationships. Because once you have healthy boundaries, real connection becomes possible. If you're ready to become the calm, confident version of yourself that you know is in there, head to higherpowercc.com/unshakable to learn more. You can build rock solid boundaries and thrive in your relationships. I'll show you how. higherpowercc.com/unshakable. If you like this podcast, and I'm guessing you did because you're still listening, you will also love my weekly newsletter, Friday Fragments, which has short essays similar to the podcast. You can check it out at fridayfragments.news. That's fridayfragments.news. If you haven't already subscribed to my podcast on your favorite podcast outlet, please do that. It helps carry the message to more people. I started this podcast because there was so much wisdom in recovery that just wasn't making its way out into the world. So I want as many people as possible to hear it. I'd also love it if you'd leave a 5-star rating or a review, which you can do on Apple Podcasts. It helps other people find it so they can get the benefits that you've gotten from listening. If someone in particular came to mind when you listen to this episode, please share it with them. And my favorite place to hang out on social media is Instagram. I'm at Higher Power Coaching. Please DM me there. I'd love to hear what you got from this episode. I run private and group coaching programs on building healthy boundaries. Whether you need help with boundaries in your personal, professional, or romantic life, I can help. Head on over to barbchat.net where you can get on my calendar for a free 30-minute Better Boundaries consultation. I also do short-term situational coaching to help people make it through specific situations they're going through, such as divorce, empty nesting, preparing for retirement, or any phase where their identity is shifting. Regardless of the type of coaching, my ideal client is someone who is ripe for change. If that's you, I'd love to work with you. My goal with all my work is to help you make lasting changes in your life, like I've made deep, lasting changes in my life. Remember, it's never too late to recover. No one is beyond hope, and healing is possible. Thanks for listening.